At this time, the regular meeting of the City of Lawrence Board of Public Works and Safety will come to order. This is the June 13th, 2024 meeting. The first item on our, and the chair does recognize a quorum this evening. Appreciate that. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the regular meeting minutes from the May 22nd, 2024 meeting.
Mr. Chairman, having read the minutes, unless there are any comments or additions, I would move approval.
I would second.
Moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The minutes are approved. Next item is unfinished business, which our agenda tells us there is none, and that moves us to new business. And the first item on our agenda is the item A, which is approval of agreement of affiliation, Ivy Tech in the Lawrence Fire Department. Chief?
Yes, thank you.
The floor is yours, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your service. This is an agreement with Ivy Tech. They have students that go through paramedic school and EMT school through Ivy Tech, and we're looking to form a partnership with them where we precept some of their students. Currently, they have to go to Decatur Township and Plainfield, basically on the west side. We don't have anything like that on the east side. Our preceptors would be voluntary. We wouldn't force anybody into precepting students if they don't want to. And obviously the students can select the site they want to come or go to. This helps us in the aspect, even though there's no monetary help with this, I think it helps us in the fact that we get to see students that are coming out of Ivy Tech and maybe future employees. We can see who works out, who's doing a really good job, and they can be on potential future lists. So
It's a recruitment tool.
yes, it can be. So I think it's a win-win. This has also been through city legal, and also this probably wouldn't start until sometime in December because their new semesters or fall semester starts in August, but by the time they'd be ready to be precepted, it wouldn't be till December anyway. So.
Good. Chief, thank you for that. What is the wish of the board? Is there a motion?
I have no questions. Do you have?
No questions here.
I would move approval of the agreement as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other questions or comments? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Chief, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
The next items is item B, but also C, D, and E, which are all the approvals of general orders from for the Lawrence Fire Department.
Right. So when I came to you guys in January and said this doesn't happen very often, I'm just kidding. So.
It's okay, Chief.
Yeah. So this first general order 4.04 non-discrimination policy. Currently, we have federal grants, and for those federal grants, we have to have certain non-discrimination policies in place to meet these grant requirements, and we probably should have these in place anyway. And there's several components to this. I actually sent our city handbook to FEMA and sent several other things, and they said, hey, this looks really good, but there's a few things that we want to see as well. Even to if you look at the very last page, the footnote at the bottom, I had to include according to FEMA. So they have sample policies. We took those sample policies, dressed it up to our department, and I told them before I brought it to the Board of Works, I want to make sure that it's going to meet their criteria, and it does. Our policy meets their criteria. I think after you approve this, we can put this in place and be set not only to meet the grant, but again, it's a policy that is probably good to have anyway. So.
Chief, do you want to go ahead and everything? First of all, any questions on item A for the chief?
Not for me.
Do you want to go ahead and discuss item B, the approval of the next general order?
C.
Item C. Okay. Yes.
Oh, C. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. B.
On
5.3.
C,
Thank
that
you.
is 5.40, physical fitness program. The only thing we changed on that is the general order used to say the work performance exam would be taken at station 38. We do that in our outbuilding now, but we didn't want to, we could have changed the wording to the outbuilding, but we didn't want to put that either in case, something ever happens, there's a leak. So we just put that the WP will be held within a fire department approved facility. The only other thing that we added was, as you can see, it says prior to taking the annual work performance exam, the employee must have had their annual physical. We currently do that, we've been doing that, but it's something that really wasn't specified in writing, so we're just putting in writing our current practices.
Any questions from the board?
No.
Chief, you want to go ahead and discuss with us the item D?
Yes, so I received this one from my operations chief today, and this is just cleaning up the, when we order uniform components and badges and items and stuff like that, they go by an item number, and we found out recently some of these item numbers were wrong. So that's all we did to clean that up. And also, we used to have a paramedic or EMT patch on this side. We have an American flag now. We've addressed that, and we put that in the appendix. So that's the only thing that was changed on this.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments on that?
No, sir.
Okay. Chief, why don't you go ahead and talk with us about item E then?
Okay.
The last general order that you brought to us.
You're talking about, I'm sorry, I think I skipped one.
I think you skipped 5.3.
5.3?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So 5.3 is maintaining a drug-free workplace, and what we're changing now is we're changing from, currently we do a urine test. The problem with those tests is if someone were to take, say, THC, for example, or marijuana, I could go get a urine test right now, and that's not going to show up, those metabolites aren't going to show up for 4 hours. Versus a buccal test, it will show up immediately. And we really are trying to figure out, is the person currently under the influence, much like you would with alcohol. So that's one thing we're changing, is we're going to a buccal test. Coincidentally, it's a lot cheaper. That wasn't our goal, but it's definitely has some savings on that. And then we're dressing up some of the other parts of the policy as far as who can give that buccal test, because we're not going to be doing randoms anymore. These are only reasonable suspicion testing. So the reasonable suspicion testing has remained the same, but we do talk about if there was a concern, if or an officer is riding out for a battalion, we say it has to be a chief officer that does the reasonable suspicion testing. And we put in here that if there's no chief officer available, they have to be contacted, then still to be vetted. But on reasonable suspicion testing, we still have always 2 supervisors. They can't just be one supervisor thinking someone's under the influence. It has to be thought of with 2 supervisors. They have to fill out the form. So,
Chief, thanks very much. Any questions, comments from the board?
Mr. Chairman, if it's all right with the board, I'd like to propose that we move motion to approval on B, C, D, and E, all of the general orders together.
There's a motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
the only thing I would like to say is I'd like to thank our union and our Lieutenant Mike Williams and Lieutenant Rimmel. They've been instrumental in changing some of these policies, as well as other committees, and I really appreciate it.
Chief, thanks very much. There is a motion and it's been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks very much, Chief. The next item on our agenda is item F, which is the approval of a grant agreement between the Indianapolis Metropolitan Planning Organization and the City of Lawrence for Oakland Road and 75th Street intersection. Madam City Attorney, Amber Finley, thank you.
Thank you. So, reading through this, so this is the, as described from the chairman, that this is a grant agreement. And so essentially just a standard form that needs to be completed by, it'll be signed by the mayor electronically, but we wanted to get this in front of the board and in front of the public just for transparency purposes so that everyone's aware that we're going to be receiving a grant for this Oakland Road and 75th Street.
Very good. Any questions from the board? Sounds like good news.
We're gonna race each other.
Arm
Go
wrestle.
ahead. You have a question?
I would, not really a I guess it is a question, but just for clarification for the public, do you have any information on when that project looks to be completed?
So there is.
We have our DPW director here if you do
Yeah,
not have that information.
Yeah, when you plan to have this completed, I know there's some information in here that talks about making sure that the project can go to a local letting no later than May of 2026, but I'm sure that we're planning to get that before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I move approval of the grant agreement as presented.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The last item on the, under new business is item G, which is approval of resolution 2024 for LPD disposal. That's Lawrence Police Department disposal of surplus property for disposal.
Hey, how you
Yes,
doing?
Chief, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, we're just trying to clear up some of our inventory. We got a 36-year-old Brad truck that we need to get rid of that we used to have for our SWAT team. And so we've had that all these years. And then we had a couple vehicles, they're like at their useful life, 17, 16 years. So they're inoperable. Some of them are on flat tires. So, and then the other things were things that we found at the range. We've been cleaning out our range because we're doing a big update to our range. And so we found a couple broken chairs. Our ultrasonic gun cleaner machine is already, had its useful life years ago, and we just never replaced it. So just trying to throw all that stuff away and get out of our, out of a poor view, especially for the public, as we sit over at the range. So,
Sure, taking up space.
yes. And they'll destroy the vehicle, so they'll get smashed or whatever, and go to salvage, so we can get rid of them.
Very good. Any questions or comments from the board?
I move approval of the resolution.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Chief, thank you very much. Are there any comments further from the administration, either Mr. Chief of Staff or
I don't believe we have anything this evening.
the city attorneys here? Any comments? In our Department of Public Works Director, Mr. Wilburn, appreciate your being here this evening, and any comments? All right. Thank you all very much. Are there any citizen comments? I don't know if there's anybody.
Not aware of any.
Okay, nobody in the audience and nobody online. There being none, the motion would the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
And I will give you a motion to adjourn.
I will second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.